So hello to those of you just joining us. We will be starting in just a couple of minutes, just letting people join into the room. Do let us know where in the world you're joining us from. We do attract a global audience, so it's always good to know where in the world we're broadcasting to. Currently, I'm in London. Sasha's in Nairobi, so already a little bit global. Welcome, chat box is open, so do pop in there where you're joining us from. Okay, we'll be starting in just a minute or so, so sit tight. Okay, so hello and welcome to the latest ATTA webinar. And today we're back with our friends at Waybird to introduce Waybird for individuals. As I've already mentioned, we do attract a global audience for our webinars, so please let us know via the chat box where in the world you're joining us from today. It's always good to know where we're broadcasting to. As always, the webinar is being recorded, so if you do miss anything, don't worry. The recording will be available shortly after the live session. And of course, we will have the opportunity for questions at the end. So if you do have any questions, please pop these into the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and I'll address these to our presenter at the end of the session. So presenting today, we're joined by Sasha Craig, sales specialist at Waybird. Sasha has been with Waybird team for a year and knows every inch of the platform and most of the secret features. So Sasha, it's great to have you with us as always, and over to you for the presentation.
Thank you very much, Chris, for the brilliant introduction, and welcome everyone to Waybird. For those of you who don't know Waybird, or perhaps missed our first webinar with ATTA over a year ago, for a little bit of background on where we come from. We come from the world of travel technology after building Timbuktu Travel around 10 years ago. So Waybird is essentially the travel technology behind Timbuktu. And with that, the vision of Waybird was to create an all-encompassing platform for travel specialists around the world to very quickly build and showcase trip ideas, to build interactive quotes for their clients around the world. With that, using the live availability and accurate wrap rate functions that Waybird offers, and using brilliant in-depth content across Africa, Asia, and Latin America. With that comes the ability to accept payments through the platform, manage your invoices, and generally manage the booking process from start to finish. We started Waybird sort of focusing on small businesses, but over the last year, and we are exactly 1 year old, which is very exciting to the trade, we've had some brilliant and exciting developments, including the launch of Waybird for individuals, which is what I'm going to talk to you about today. So on top of everything Waybird already does for the people using Waybird for businesses, Waybird for individuals allows you to essentially create your own brand from anywhere in the world. It will provide you with full back office support to help you run your business. As well as accepting payments, we will also pay your suppliers for you on your behalf. It will offer you licensing and insurance on your bookings. and also give you access to our preferred partner rates on the ground wherever you are looking to book. And one of the newest additions is becoming part of a brilliant Waybird community, which allows you to meet other people, like-minded people, and gain travel insight into perhaps new places or new destinations or lodges that you're looking to use in your safari bookings. So I think the best way to showcase Waybird is to give you a quick demonstration of the platform. So just before I build a trip with you, I think the best thing to show you quickly is just the brilliant content and what you can kind of get from Waybird when building your safari ideas. So as you see, we have trips all over Africa, Asia, and Latin America. We have over 3,000 lodges, hotels, and experiences already loaded in the system, which you as a Waybird user would have full access to. There is also the capability to add your own content anywhere in the world. And one brilliant function about Waybird as a platform is that you can upload content anywhere in the world and sell trips anywhere in the world. So you're not limited to the areas that we have content in. So you can obviously click through the different regions, properties, and experiences here in your library section of your profile. But today I'm going to quickly build a trip with you. So if you simply click Start a Trip, you will be brought to the sort of Waybird homepage. And as you will see, this is obviously a demonstration page. So if and when you would use Waybird with your profile, it is totally customizable. So it would have your logo in the top left-hand corner here. It would have your colors, your design, so that we can closely represent your brand and your website as possible when you are sending messages to your client. When you open your profile, you'll be faced with these two options. The custom trip is if you would like to create a trip completely from scratch, or you can use the recommended trip section, which I'm going to do today because we're slightly short of time. So this will pull up a huge amount of content that hopefully is brilliant inspiration for you to create some of your ideas and trips. On Waybird, we have, I think it's over 200 pre-populated or pre-loaded itineraries across Africa, Asia, and Latin America that you can kind of flick through and use as you please, and of course customize them to then match what your client is looking for. You can also use the search tab here if you're looking for something completely individual, and again down the side here, lots of different tabs to filter through the different itineraries. So given I'm based sitting in Nairobi right now, let's just customize the classic Kenyan beach and bush itinerary for you. So you would very simply click customize on one of these trips. And this opens up the main feature of Waybird, the itinerary building platform. This essentially is a blank canvas that you can add to, change, reorder, as much as you want throughout the process of building your itinerary. The first thing we always recommend, and one of the brilliant features of Waybird, is the live availability function. So very simply, if you were to click add a start date, and you click through to the possible dates that your clients are looking to travel, let's say they're looking to travel over Christmas this year, by putting these dates into Waybird, it will now only showcase properties in the regions that we're looking at that are available over our clients' travel dates. So it's a really useful tool if you're looking to create a very quick trip idea to send off to the client. You will know that there is actually availability in these lodges that you are presenting to your clients. We hope with the itinerary building that it is a very straightforward process, and it sort of follows your safari as you would sort of travel it in a way. So it would start with your arrival destination, of course, and it will automatically put in transfers as to where you're going next. A lot of this is pre-populated. I won't go into too much detail here due to lack of time, but just to show you, there is a lot of pre-populated content in terms of transfers that you can choose. You can also upload your own transfers and save them for each time you are maybe to use Nairobi. Your template transfers will pop up while you're building your own. In order to add a property, very simply, you click on the Add Property button. Now, this will pull up all the properties that are available within the Nairobi region over the dates that we've put into the system. So if you now scroll down, you can click in and read about all of these different lodges that are available in Nairobi. And as you see here, it will show you an estimated rack rate per person per night for each hotel. And it will also show you the availability that is at that hotel. So if this is the hotel for you, then you can very simply click Add Trip to your itinerary, and it will populate that automatically for you. Down below, there's a big button here that says number of nights. So you can add the number of nights that your client is going to be staying at this hotel. When you add and take away number of nights here, you will notice that the estimated rack rate of your trip continually builds. So this is just a really brilliant tool to help you know and give you an estimate of your trip as you're building your itinerary. So maybe you know your client's budget, and this is a brilliant tool just to help you as you're building the trip. If you click on the hotel content itself, just to give you an idea of what the Waybird content looks like. So there's a lovely flick through of images here of each hotel, a title, and obviously a really lovely write-up, a whole selection of images and a map of where the hotel is, and then what you can do and sort of activities, wildlife within the area that you're staying. So all the content across hotels, regions, destinations, and experiences all are in a very similar layout to what you see here. And Waybird is very proud of its content, and we have a brilliant content team who are constantly updating product across the platform. So it's always up to date and really well written, and yeah, as I say, really proud of the job. If you click expand on the accommodation section, this is just to give you an option to add. You can add in what you'll love, a certain room type perhaps, and your own personal note about that hotel and maybe why you picked it. And you can also add different property options. So let's say we were to add Hemingway's and the Coco. We can, we can add these property options to our itinerary to give clients maybe 2 different hotel options within the Nairobi region. So that's very quickly and simply how you would add an accommodation to your itinerary. We then come to the sort of what you'll do section. Now this is where you kind of expand more on what your clients are going to be doing within this region. Of course, the hotel within the content here will tell you what you can do at the hotel. But this is where you sort of add your exciting activities for the, the 3 days that you're within that area. So we also have a lot of pre-populated content loaded within the system on Waybird. So you can either start from scratch and write it all up yourself if you know exactly what you want to write, or you can click on the what you'll do templates. Now, this will bring up some of the pre-populated content that Waybird already has in the system. Now, to give you an idea of maybe what that looks like, if you click on the preview section, you can have a quick read here about what you can do in Nairobi, and then flick through some of the activities that are available that are already loaded within the system. All of this content is totally available for you guys to use. And if you click on Waybird here, it will automatically upload that to your itinerary. You can, of course, upload your own activities and save them as templates. So if you were to choose Nairobi, your own template will come up with certain activities that you can also load to your itinerary. So you can load lots of different blocks to this. Mostly what I like is adding day by day. So you can add day 1. And if you click on expand here, you can kind of change the title, Nairobi Day. And you can edit as much of this content as you want. You might not want all of it, so you could take some of the content out and also some of the activities, because when you click add, it will add in all the pre-populated content. You can also add experiences back in by simply adding add experience, and they will pop up here on the right. And you can also add lots of your own. So maybe you have a restaurant reservation. You could add you could add the details about the restaurant reservation, and add lots more information to this day by simply adding these sort of activity boxes down here. And you can also add a whole new block if you were to do day 1, day 2, day 3, for example. So lots of options there in terms of the what you would do section. Given we're slightly short of time, I will just add another property and some more activities just to show you what an itinerary might look like once you've finished working on it. So it will automatically add in a transfer, and then if we add in another property in Lake Navasha, for example, you'll see here the estimated wrap rate again and the availability. You can add this to your trip. And then if we just add some activities in Lake Navasha, sorry, there we go. So, so yeah, as you see, if you scroll down, there's a lot more that you can add to, but just for today, we'll just add the 2 destinations. And if we then click save, we can name this whatever you want to name it. Click save. And then by doing so, if you now click on the overview section, you will get the first look of what your itinerary now might look like for your clients. It will give you an overall of the nights you're away, the estimated wrap rate of this trip, the title of the trip. And as you scroll down, it will give you an overview of the trip that we've already created. This is a totally interactive itinerary. So you can either read more here, or you can just simply click through and it will show you the content about each of the different areas that you will be visiting and the activities on offer. You can also click through the images here very simply, and as I said, read more about these sections. So this is the first look of the itinerary, and you can see how quickly you can actually create an itinerary or a trip idea for your clients. Using this, obviously, you can create 3 or 4 different ones, different budget levels, different countries, and send them all off to your clients within, you know, half an hour of starting using the Waybird itinerary builder. So this is the first look. Now, if your client is quite keen to take this trip idea one step further and sort of book the trip, you obviously then want to change it into a quote and price up this. So obviously to do so, you would then obviously be in contact with your preferred partner on the ground and receiving the net rates. And then once you've got that, you would enter the quote tools section of your Waybird profile. Now, there's a lot going on in quote tools, and I don't know if we have a huge amount of time today to go into detail on every single one of these, but this is where essentially you change your itinerary from an estimated selling rate into a total selling rate. And you would just go through this section down the left here. You can add in the guest details, the number of guests that are traveling. You can put in the pricing. So this might be the net price that you receive from your supplier on the ground. Of course, you can change all the images in your itinerary, which is brilliant. Add in a lot more personal detail to the trip. A new feature is adding in video links to some of the hotels that your clients might be staying at. And of course, you can then take this itinerary offline and change it into a PDF. And then this also activates a guest dashboard, which becomes an interactive platform between you and your client once the payment is made. So I won't show you the intricate details of creating the quote, but what I will show you is what it looks like once you've put in your total selling price and changed it from an estimated price to a total selling price. So you'll notice here that it changes from the estimated price to the total selling price here. And now you can send this to your client confidently knowing this is the exact selling price of your trip with all the details that you've entered in to the trip, because you will see on this now that we've entered the total selling price, you can see this view details tab. So now if you were to click on the view details tab, you can basically see a brilliant overview of your whole itinerary, like we saw before, but a lot more writing detail about the trip. And then it also gives you the option now to pay deposit. So this is now the process of the payment, taking it from the quote, sending it to your client, and then taking it the whole way that Waybird provides. So if they were to click on the pay deposit button, they would bring up a page like this, which basically gives them an overview of the dates they're traveling, how many nights, the price, when their deposit is due. They can then obviously read the terms and conditions and agree to the terms and conditions, and then they can very simply press pay. This is obviously a demonstration page, but in your case, this banner that would pop up would obviously have the different payment methods. Like it might be a credit card transaction, a bank wire, and have all the details of the different options here for the client. Once the client makes that deposit payment on the trip, obviously you would get notified, but it also then activates their guest dashboard. So now, as I said earlier, this is the sort of interactive stage of Waybird where you and your client will then interact, where they can see their invoice for the trip, they can pay their deposit, see that they've paid their deposit, they can upload their guest details for you, which obviously you would get notified. You can also download and send to your supplier or lodge on the ground. You can obviously confirm the trip in here. They can let you know once they've booked their international flight, and it will also give them the date and when their balance is due and the links then to pay that balance in the trip. And then if they scroll down to the bottom, we also have a brilliant amount of content on the platform here for wherever that client is traveling. If it's multi-country, there'll be Kenya and Uganda on here and have lots of different information on visas, what to pack, insurance, money, etc., that they can read about those different countries. So that's the client dashboard and how the booking process works from start to finish. So I hope you can see how quickly and easily it is to basically build an itinerary or trip idea, convert it into a quote once you've received your rates from your suppliers, send it to your clients, and then take the payment process from start to finish. And we hope that that's given you an idea of how brilliant and how powerful Waybird is. And we really hope that this might be really suitable for lots of you out there.
Excellent.
Maybe, very quick overview, but Chris, over to you for any questions that anyone might have.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Sasha. Great presentation as always, and wonderful to see a few new features come into the platform since we last did a webinar. So yeah, all very, very user friendly. So thank you very much for that. We do have the opportunity for any questions. So if you do have any questions for Sasha, please pop these into the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and I'll be able to run through those. We did have a couple of questions that came through on the registration. So first off from Tracy, is this a membership-based platform?
So in essence, yes, we have 3 different models that you can join Waybird on. What I've been talking about today, the Waybird for individuals, we work on a commission split. So we work on an 80-20 commission split. So it's not a subscription, a monthly subscription fee. You only pay once you make a booking through the platform. And as I said, we charge you, or we split the commission 80-20. You then have the business model, which we work on a 1% fee, which is basically, again, you don't pay a monthly subscription. You only pay once you make a booking through the platform, and that costs you 1% of your total revenue of your booking. And then we do have a subscription model whereby you pay monthly $499 a month for 2 users. And that gives you all the functionality of the itinerary builder, just not the payment side of Waybird. So those are the 3 models.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And another question that came through on the registration from Mark. There's sort of 2 parts of this. Firstly, what percentage of properties in sub-Saharan Africa have live availability?
So currently, sub-Saharan African properties on Waybird, it's around 800 to 900 properties, which are currently linked with live availability on the system. But we are noticing more and more lodgers across Africa are seeing the benefit of making their availability live. So it's definitely increasing as we speak.
Okay, and an add-on to that question, will the platform feature individual trade user contract rates?
So Waybird is a very flexible platform. you can't upload your own rates, your own net rates to the system. So you'd still have to be in touch with your contractor or your supplier on the ground to receive your net rates. And then you have to input your own rates into the platform for each booking. So we can't save your rates into the system. With the Waybird for individuals model, we can introduce any member of Waybird on that model to our partners on the ground so that they can receive our partner rates.
Okay, excellent. And a question that's come through on the Q&A box from Andre. Will Waybird have an accounting or GL module?
Not yet, maybe down the line for sure, but we will come back to you on that.
Okay, excellent. Well, I don't think there are any further questions. So unless anyone does have any additional questions, we will look at wrapping up. So Sasha, as always, thank you very much for a wonderful webinar and thank you for your time. For everyone that's tuned in today, thank you very much for taking the time out of your day as well. We do appreciate how busy you are at the moment. So it's always good to see so many people online. So thank you all very much. We look forward to seeing you on a webinar upcoming, but hopefully we'll be seeing some of you down in South Africa at Indaba and the other upcoming trade shows. And we hope to see you soon. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.